Did you know that the England national team has lifted only one major trophy in its entire history? Yes, players like Gordon Banks and Sir Bobby Charlton were among the super squad that helped the Three Lions win the 1966 World Cup. But the old guard is gone, and since then, England has depended on its Wonderkids to help them win another major trophy. Now, Euro 2024 is close by, and England will be calling on their Wonderkids once more. Which makes you wonder, what exactly happened in the last 10 England Wonderkids? We'd have to rewind back to the days of Michael Owen, who is without a doubt a Liverpool and Three Lions legend. Owen first stepped into the limelight with Liverpool at the tender age of 17, and he didn't look back from there. Of course, he had all the ingredients that make a footballer special. He had pace, power, and a decent amount of dribbling ability. But at that age, Owen possessed something else that made his coaches fall in love with him: his football IQ. Yes, Owen might have only been 17 at the time, but he played with the experience of a 25 or 30-year-old. He knew how to make the right decisions in and outside the box, and he could play well alongside the midfielders and supporting strikers. After impressing at Liverpool in his first season, it didn't come as a surprise when he got a call from the England national team. At this time, he had turned 18 years old and had been given the opportunity to play on the grandest stage of them all, the FIFA World Cup. Now, you would think the pressure would have gotten to Owen, but it didn't. Instead, he announced himself on the world stage by scoring a brilliant solo goal against Argentina, making him one of the youngest players in history to score a World Cup goal. Owen went on to become one of England's most dependable strikers, and he even won the Ballon d'Or in 2001. But of course, even the Wonderkids have to grow, and Owen called it quits in 2013. However, he still remains a prominent figure in football, as he now works as a football pundit and commentator. Owen also owns many racehorses, so you can say that the England legend has done pretty well for himself. But guess who else is not doing badly? Wayne Rooney. Yeah, he too was on fire as a youth, and he announced his presence in the best possible way by scoring a screamer against Arsenal when he was just 16 years old. Just like Owen, Rooney had pace and power, although I'd rate his dribbling skills a little bit higher. Now, with such talent at such a young age, the big clubs had their eyes on Rooney, and Manchester United were the ones who lured him over. It was a decision that Alex Ferguson and the rest of the Red Devil faithful didn't regret. In fact, they were more than grateful, as Rooney became one of the greatest players in the club's history. Unfortunately, Rooney didn't win the Ballon d'Or, but he won several Premier League titles with Manchester United and even a UEFA Champions League in 2008. But his talents weren't on display at club level alone, as he also became a mainstay of the England national team. Not only that, he's also the all-time top scorer for England with 53 goals. Rooney went on to represent England in several FIFA World Cups and European Championships, and while he didn't manage to win any international trophies with his country, he was always the main man in attack. Sadly though, years would pass, and Rooney would have to leave Manchester United, as he was no longer the player he used to be. He moved back briefly to Everton, and even played for DC United in the MLS, and then for Derby County. Fast forward to 2021, and Rooney announced his retirement, officially marking the end of his magnificent playing career. Since then, Rooney has become a full-time coach and football pundit. He currently manages Birmingham City and is very committed to charity work. But it isn't all England Wonderkids that had sizzling careers, as some literally fell by the wayside, even with all their potential. One name that comes to mind is Jack Wilshere, who joined Arsenal's academy at the age of 9 and made his first team debut at the age of 16. To say the least, Wilshere was one of the most brilliant minds on the ball at the time. His vision and range of passing were comparable to that of Xavi and Iniesta, and was a joy to watch anytime he stepped into the pitch. Did you know that playing for Arsenal at just 16 years old made Wilshere the youngest ever Gunners player? Yeah, that's how good he was. The England national team saw his potential too, so after impressing at youth levels, he finally made his senior team appearance in 2010. Unfortunately, even with all his talent, he couldn't inspire Arsenal to reach the heights they were once known for. He didn't do much for the England national team either, as they were bundled out of practically any tournament they played in. To be fair for Wilshere, his talent was never in question, but his career was marred by several injuries, which didn't allow him to improve more than he did. To add to that, it seemed his dedication to the sport dwindled as the years passed, which serves as an explanation for his inconsistent form. It was almost as if Wilshere got tired of playing football, and in 2022, he made his retirement official. After retirement, Wilshere worked with the Arsenal youth team and has been doing a little bit of media work. But he's not the only ex-Arsenal of England's wonderkid to not reach the heights expected of him. Theo Walcott is also guilty as charged, but just like Jack Wilshere, he was one of the most promising young stars of his era. He first made a name for himself in Southampton's youth team, and before you know it, his exceptional speed and eye for goal caught the attention of Arsene Wenger, who wanted to bring him to Arsenal at all cost. Wenger's desire saw the move pulled through in 2006, and Walcott, who was 17 at the time, showed a lot of potential when first arrived at Arsenal. In the same year, he was selected to be a part of England's 2006 World Cup squad, which came as a surprise to everyone. Yeah, Walcott was very talented and had shown a lot of potential, but many felt he wasn't ripe enough for such a big stage. They were correct, as the young lad didn't do enough to help England go far in the tournament. Years passed, and Walcott still hadn't done enough to be ranked among the best. He just couldn't improve his game the way Owen and Rooney did, and critics began to see him as a one-trick pony. He did have one memorable moment with the England national team when he scored a hat-trick against Croatia in the 2010 World Cup qualifier. And while fans hoped that he would make great strides from there, he disappointed once again. Walcott's inconsistencies and injuries didn't do anything to help him grow beyond being a wonder kid. Arsenal had to let him go, and so did the England national team. For now, Walcott plays for Southampton, where he still shows flashes of his old self, but that's where it stops. Speaking of which, how can we talk about the last 10 England wonderkids without talking about Ross Barkley? Emerging from Everton's youth system, Barkley was often tagged the next big thing, and that says a lot about what he could do when he was just a teenager. He was one of those midfielders you could trust to win the ball, spread the ball, and score the goals. Yeah, Barkley was that special, and his string of consistent and impressive performances in England's youth team earned him a call-up to the senior team in 2011. To his credit, he represented England at the 2014 World Cup and the 2016 European Championship. And while he showed a lot of promise, he was too inconsistent to take his game to the next level. As for Barkley's club career, well, it's been filled with many ups and downs. He went to Chelsea in 2018, but injuries and inconsistent performances didn't allow him to shine at the Bridge. He was later loaned to Aston Villa and then Luton Town, where he currently plays. Now, it's true Ross Barkley never became the player we all thought he would become, but he still remains a respectable and dependable player in the English Premier League. Moving on, and the next England wonderkid on our list is none other than Dele Alli. As a youth, Ali made a lot of noise at MK Dons. It was so loud that it caught the attention of a team as big as Tottenham Hotspur. Ali eventually signed for the London club in 2015, and his superb style of play and goal-scoring ability made him a fan favorite in his very first season. Of course, the England national team would come calling, and Ali was part of the country's Euro 2016 squad. Now Ali was super excited, but not as excited as you'll be with the football content coming your way after hitting the subscribe button. What's more, smashing the like and share button means you'll be seeing a lot of him and your favorite football superstars on your screen. But that's not all, cause Ali also represented England at the 2018 World Cup, and while he and his teammates couldn't win any of these tournaments with the national team, he remained a key player for Tottenham. Unfortunately, his form took a major nosedive over the years, and this led to a move to Everton in 2020. For now, Dele Alli is on loan to Turkish side, Besiktas, and while that is one of the biggest clubs in Turkey, it surely isn't the kind of club where a player of Ali's potential should be playing. To his credit though, he's shown great promise with his new team. Also, he still has age on his side, so it's really up to him to revive his career. Now, just like Dele Alli, another England wonderkid with a lot to prove is Mason Greenwood. As a youth, Greenwood was one of the most promising players at the Manchester United Academy. He had a lot of pace, and his finishing was just as good as the best strikers in the world. Greenwood was so good that he got his first team call-up before he turned 20. The young lad was impressive right from the get-go, and it didn't take long for him to establish himself as one of the most dependable players in the Manchester United squad. Fast forward to 2020, and Greenwood made his first team debut for England. In fact, he was part of the team that reached the Euro 2020 final, only to lose out on penalties to eventual winners, Italy. Had England won Euro 2020, then that would have been the second major trophy in their history, and that would have stamped Greenwood's name in the history books forever. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and his career took a turn for the worse later on. Not because he lost form, but because of allegations of sexual misconduct off the pitch. It was crazy, because it was everywhere in the news, and everyone was talking about it.
First, Manchester United striker Mason Greenwood has been charged with attempted rape.
No more training and no further matches for Mason Greenwood. The police confirmed he was arrested and officers were seen at his home.
Even major headlines covered the story. For now, all the charges have been suspended and Greenwood is on loan at Getafe. He's still in his early 20s though, which means his chapter is not yet closed. But who knows? He might just make that stunning comeback that everyone has been waiting for. But Greenwood isn't the only England wonderkid in desperate need of a comeback. Marcus Rashford needs one too, joining Manchester United's academy at the tender age of 7 and making an explosive senior team debut in 2016 had all the makings of a football fairy tale story. Yeah, Rashford's 2 goals in his first match for United surely put him in the spotlight, and he's been doing well ever since. For England, he made his senior team debut in 2016 and scored in his first match. Since then, Rashford has been a mainstay of the national team and has represented them at the 2018 World Cup and Euro 2020, where he helped them reach the final. Now, the 2023-2024 English Premier League season wasn't so much of a disaster for Rashford and Manchester United. It's true they finished in 8th position, which is quite poor, but they also won the FA Cup, which meant Europa League qualification. Unfortunately, Rashford was a shadow of his former self. Just a season before, he was scoring in practically every match. Of course, he's still one of the best players at Old Trafford, but he'll be hoping to rediscover his scoring form and help United challenge for the league title, which is long overdue. But one England wonderkid who has no problem winning league titles is Phil Foden. The Manchester City Academy product has been dubbed as one of the best players in the world, and he has proven that time and time again. Foden was instrumental in Manchester City's 4 straight Premier League titles, which no team has ever done before, not even Manchester United. He even scored 2 goals in the last game of their title-winning 2023-2024 season to wrap up what went down as a brilliant personal campaign. But that's not all, as Foden was also instrumental in helping Manchester City win their first ever UEFA Champions League title in 2023. As for the England national team, Foden is currently one of its most important players, thanks to his vision, passing, and goal-scoring ability. The astonishing part is, even with all his years of success, Foden is just 24 years old, and many would argue that he's the best English player right now. But don't ask Pep. Trust me, the dude is head over heels for Foden.
He's a guy in a sense of goal. He loves to be moving the 80-yard box and have a lot of weapons with the shoots, with you ahead of the second one.
Although Jude Bellingham might not agree with such sentiments, without a doubt, Bellingham has proven that he belongs in the upper echelons of football. After making waves at Birmingham City at just 16 years old, he moved to Borussia Dortmund in 2020, where he quickly established himself as one of Europe's brightest young stars. Oh, let's not forget that Birmingham City did him a great honor by retiring his jersey upon his departure to Dortmund. Bellingham was just 17 years old at the time, and no player of that age has ever had their jersey retired. Bellingham also made his England national team debut at 17 years old, where he helped the Three Lions reach the Euro 2020 final. His performance at the 2022 World Cup was also commendable, and that caught the eye of Real Madrid. Fast forward to 2023, and Bellingham has not only won the La Liga with the Spanish Giants, he's also won the Champions League, all in his first season with the club. What do you think? Is Bellingham the most promising England wonderkid right now?